This is my everyday carry. A Swiss Champ with a flashlight, a clip, and a pouch that has only happened because of a month's worth of work, trial, and error. This is my Swiss Champ. I talked about this video in my last video where I go over why I feel the Swiss Champ is the perfect tool for dads. But in this video, I'm going to talk about my setup and each individual bit and accessory that I'm using here to make this happen. I've tried multiple clips, I've tried multiple pouches, I've tried multiple flashlights, lanyards, and even key rings. And this is the setup that I have landed with. Let's talk about the first one, the pouch. Now the pouch can be found on Amazon for $10. This pouch is made by a company called Hide and Drink. If you're a dad, and especially if you're a present dad who's in your kids' lives, I would not recommend hiding and drinking. Now, Hide and Drink makes multiple other leather goods. This is actually a wallet that I'll talk about in a future video. I have made this my main wallet, and I'm a huge fan of this Hide and Drink company. They make everything handmade in Latin America, and you can't smell it, but it smells so good. Just that classic leather smell. And when you get a Victorinox, it comes with the little keyring on the side here. And I've seen so many people use this kind of clip and hook situation, which I'll talk about in the next section, directly on the Swiss Champ or on whatever knife they're using. I found the Swiss Champ to just be a little bit too clunky and too big to just free dangle it with the lanyard. So that's why I love the pouch. The pouch is great, and I'm able to remove the lanyard completely. And this pouch is slightly bigger than the Swiss Champ, so you have a little bit of wiggle room. But that's what makes it so easy to take it in and out. As you can see, it's just a simple slide. And when it's in my pocket, sitting upright, the gravity keeps it in. It's never going anywhere, and I've never had an issue where it actually just slides out in my pocket and then falls out of my pocket completely. But if you did want a little bit more of a tight seal, I am using this little eyeglass repair tube, and I put some of the extra Victorinox tools that go into the bottle opener, or the wine bottle opener here, stuck that in there, and then that gives you just a little bit extra friction to where now this is going in there with a solid, a solid push. It's a lot harder to get out now without having a clip or a lanyard. So I guess if you're going to use this method, I would put a lanyard on this adapter, keep that little ring, and then put one of these Victorinox lanyards on there or something. I personally like keeping it pretty simple here. The pouch overall is great. You can use it for a variety of different techniques. You can use it for smaller knives, and then maybe some chapstick or maybe some other tools. You could put a flashlight and a smaller Victorinox inside the pouch, and it has this little hole right here that is nice and sturdy. And I'm using, just a little key ring inside that hole, and this is where I'm pulling this thing in and out of my pocket all day long. But yeah, this is the pouch that I prefer, and it's been serving me well. So let's go on to the second part, which is the clip. Now, I've bought a couple of different clips on Amazon, but this seems to be the best one. It's made by a company called Keysmart, and you can see their logo on the back there. You're going to pay a little bit more to buy this one over any of the other ones that you find on Amazon. Maybe if you bought a whole bunch, you could figure out where they're sourcing this. But Keysmart is a pretty legit company. They have a lot of different EDC accessories on the market. This clip right here, in addition to the lanyard here from Victorinox, it's the best clip. I thought I needed a bigger one, so I actually got a deep carry clip. It was too big, too clunky. This one is nice and compact, and it just goes, it's hard to explain without you trying it, but it just goes in and out of the pocket perfectly. As you can see, if I just slip it on my wallet, you can see just how perfectly it clips. And yeah, this slides into my pocket. This clips onto the outside of my pocket. And this little accessory, which I'm including in number 2 here as part of the clip, is the branded Victorinox lanyard. I do not recommend buying these on Amazon, okay? Because for some reason, these are selling for like $15 on Amazon. You could buy other lanyards on Amazon much cheaper. This one I bought off Amazon. But this really is, Victorinox just makes the best things. They're made in Switzerland. They have great engineering. They put a lot of work into perfecting things. You can get these in a variety of colors. I highly recommend buying these on the Victorinox website. So if you're buying a Swiss Champ directly from the Victorinox website. If you buy anything over $50, you get free shipping. So take advantage of that. If you're ever buying something on the Victorinox website, buy like 5 of these because they're only $2. They're like $2 or $3 on the Victorinox website. They come in different colors. You get red, green, blue, black. I have 2 reds and 2 blacks. I'm probably gonna, if I end up buying another knife at some point, I'll buy some more black ones because I find the black ones to be the best for me. I want this to blend into my clothing. I wear a lot of black pants, so this blends in perfectly. But the reason that I highly recommend using this in this combination is because when your knife is in your pocket, inside the pouch, okay, it's inside your pocket. Let's say that this is the outside of your pocket, it's inside, and it's clipped. This little lanyard just kind of dangles out outside of it. You can push it down if you really want to, but I wear black pants, so it kind of blends in, but it's so easy with your hand to just quickly kind of graze past your pants, and then your hand just catches this little lip, this little, you know, rubber, soft little Victorinox logo thing. And it's so easy to grasp that, and then boom, it just comes right out. So this clip with this lanyard, and I can't emphasize enough how good, how high quality this lanyard is the perfect combo for EDC with the Swiss Champ. You could just stop here. This is a good setup. I did, like I said, perfect it over a month. That's because I tried so many other variations. Like I said, I had this eyeglass repair tube in there to give it a tighter seal, but because of that, it was harder for it to slide out. So I then put I had a red Victorinox lanyard on this part of the knife. So I basically had 2 lanyards. I had one sticking out of my pants and then one kind of like, I would tuck it in to the pouch, and that's a setup that you could do. And then I would use that lanyard to then pull this one out. But the reason I like having the knife completely clean with no lanyard or clip hanging off of it, and I've done it before where I have the clip directly on the knife, is because when I'm using the knife, I hate having stuff dangling off of it. It's really annoying. I really discovered this when I was sawing some wood with the saw here. I was cutting some wood. I don't want to cut my finger. That would hurt. I was cutting some wood for my kids. We were building a fire, and I had this little long piece of metal and then the lanyard hanging off of it, and it was dangling, and I like kept moving it around, and like it was getting in the way of the saw. And so that's when I decided, you know what? When I'm actually using this tool, it's nice to have the clip in the lanyard for the EDC aspect of it, to pull it out quickly, to you know, pull it out of your holster quickly. But when I'm actually using the knife, I don't like having it. I don't know if it's my OCD or what, but this has been the perfect setup because you get the benefit of the clip, you get the benefit of the lanyard, and you have this nice, very good smelling leather pouch. And because it's just a little bit bigger than it needs to be, it's so easy to just dump this out of the pouch. But if that is an issue, you can maybe add something small here to give it a little bit more friction. I also like the fact that this protects my Victorinox. I keep my AirPods and my keys in the same pocket as my knife usually. So I didn't like the idea of this banging around and ruining the scales. I'm still planning on maybe putting my name or the date on here. And you could easily replace these, but I like the idea of this kind of acting as a protective case for the knife as well. Okay. And then so the final bit of my Swiss Champ Pocket EDC is the light. Now this light, I'll put a link in the description. This is, I forget the name of the company, but it's the A5 light. This light deserves its own video, but for the purpose of this video, I'll show you how I use it and why I've decided to put it on this side and why I'm using it. But this light, that's the first setting. That's the second setting. That's the third setting. A little lantern mode, that's setting 1, setting 2, and then a red light for nighttime. It has a little clip, stick it on your hat. I use this instead of a headlamp. I used this as my primary headlamp when I went to a cave recently with my son, and it worked perfectly. It's USB-C charging right here. And you may have noticed in a previous video, I actually had a different light. I forget what it's called, but it's the tiny little magnetic light. You pull it and it turns on, and then it magnetically sticks back on. that thing broke after just a month, and it was a little bit too finicky. This is like a real pro light. And not only that, I'm a filmmaker, I'm a video person and a photographer. This light, I got the high CRI version, which means the color of this light is very accurate, very close to the sunlight color. So if I was in a pinch with a photography situation, I need to take a picture or video, I could actually use this as like a true video light for my YouTube videos. But anyways, this little clip is magnetic, and the wine bottle opener is magnetic, isn't it? See, look at that. The metal attaches there. So I slide my Victorinox Swiss Champ in this direction so that the wine bottle opener is on that side. I then clip the flashlight in this direction. You can move the clip in any way you can imagine, but this is the way I carry it because I'm constantly clipping it to my hat. And I want it to be up as high as possible so that it sits as low as possible on the pouch. If it sat up higher, it'd be sticking up like that. You could flip it around in this direction and maybe even put a lanyard on the back of this thing, and then you could pull it off. That could be a solution. I've even thought about getting a second clip and putting it just on the light. And then that way I'd have two clips in my pocket, and I could they could be either be color coded, or I could say like, okay, on the left is my Swiss Champ, and then on the right is my flashlight. So I could just, boom, I could feel the lanyard. Okay, there's one, there's two, boom. But this has really been the best solution for me because it's the most simple. And every time I've like tried to mess with these setups and experiment with different ideas, it just gets too complicated. And I just find the more simple it is, the better, the more easier it is to use on a daily basis. So this is it. It just clips in there, and you can see because this clip has a magnet on it, it sort of sticks to the Swiss Champ, to the wine bottle opener. It's very subtle, but I like that for two reasons. Number one, it kind of makes this a little bit more compact because it's like pushing the flashlight into itself here. It also protects my Victorinox from getting scratches from the metal because instead of it resting on this side, which I used to have it on, where it's kind of, every time I'm pulling the Swiss Champ out, it's sort of rubbing against the metal of this clip. I also like that because this is magnetic, it is kind of keeping the knife in a little bit better. Now, I mean, it's obviously very easy to get it out, but it's very subtle, and it's enough to like maybe keep it from falling out where it normally would. And so this has become my EDC. On my right pocket, I stick it in my pocket, boom, just like that. Whenever I need a flashlight, I do have to pull the whole thing out. I just unclip this and I'm ready to go. And then I have to, stick it back on. It's not that big of a deal. Anytime I need my knife, boom, I reach down, I get it, I dump it out, I'm ready to go. Got my knife, no dingle dangle hanging off of the knife. Boom, put it back in, easy peasy, in the pocket. So this has become something that has made me very happy. And by the way, the flashlight does come with some really good key rings that are perfect for this. This is one that I had laying around, but make sure you get a good, has to be the right size. The Victorinox one is too small for it to go through this hole and still have enough clearance to go over the leather there. But the one, if you buy this flashlight, it actually comes with a key ring about that size that's perfect. So you really could just buy the pouch, the clip, the flashlight. The flashlight comes with a key ring and you're good to go. You could use any lanyard you want, but I've seen so many YouTubers use the Victorinox Lanyard, and there is a reason. It is very minimal, very clean, and very well made. This thing is super sturdy. When I'm actually like giving it some force to pull it, it does not feel like this rubber piece is going to break off. The wire, or whatever it is, the string itself is really sturdy, and it's a fantastic setup. So what do you think of my EDC pocket pouch? Let me know in the comments section below, and thank you guys for joining the channel. I've got a couple new subscribers, and the last video did really well, so thank you very much. I started a Patreon, EDC Dad on Patreon. Please consider being a member of the Patreon. I want to make this channel as honest and true as possible. So I'm buying everything with my own money. I'm not receiving free stuff. I'm not going to be working with brands. I've done that in the past as a gear reviewer, and I think it really ruins the content. So if you want to help me out and be a part of the community and maybe even offer some suggestions, be in the credits of my videos, would you please consider subscribing to my Patreon? And if you haven't seen my last video where I talk all about the Swiss Champ and the 5 reasons why I like it as a dad, you can watch that right here. So check it out. And thank you for watching.